Isaiah 11. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed away serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. And also, may the Lord heal the sick. You know, we got a few people that's out dealing with ailments, or family members that's, that brothers got to take care of that's dealing with ailments. So may the Lord heal them. We going into the prophecies, we going into the scriptures, showing how these are the last days. And in these last days, things are going to happen, and people are going to understand that they're going to see that the Lord is coming back soon. Yahweh Shai, Jesus. The world ignorantly calls him Jesus. Give me Isaiah 11:1.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Now this is talking about King David.
And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him.
Read.
The Spirit of wisdom and understanding.
The Spirit of wisdom and understanding. Read on.
The Spirit of counsel and might. The Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
Right. Because a lot of people don't fear the Lord, man. You know people don't fear the Lord? Because they walking around in America doing whatever the hell they want, thinking that this is a game, thinking that this is gonna be like this forever. Watching silly nonsense on TV. We're not saying don't watch stuff, that we're not telling you to be bored in this kingdom, but put your mind on some prophecy. Go into scriptures, because the days are short, man. The days are short. Read on.
And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
So you don't judge based on what you see, and you don't judge based on what you hear. Because things can deceive you. Something can look a certain way, but once you examine all the facts and the information, you realize, oh nah, this is the right judgment. And this is the judgment that the children of Israel are bringing to the world. Because the white man don't know how to judge shit, man. The white man in his court systems, he don't know how to judge matters. They have a law in New Jersey. If somebody break into your house and get hurt while they break into your house, they can actually sue you. They come into your house to steal from you and twist their ankle and they need surgery, you got to pay that shit. An unwanted guest. Read on.
Says, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
So we judge the people based on righteousness. Read on.
And reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
And reprove with equity, man. We're not respect the person up here. All right, we judge matters righteously. All right? Because that's what the white man doesn't do. He doesn't judge things righteously. You can be an upstanding man all your life, break a law by mistake, and you still getting the same book thrown at you as anybody else. Your good record, your track record, doesn't matter in the white man's court system. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Every time a damn cop kills a so-called black man, or black kid, or Hispanic kid, what happens? They go all into their Facebook, all into their social media, and try to find things to criminalize and demonize the victim. Meanwhile, the cop could have all types of racist shit on their Facebook, all types of evil stuff on their social media, and nobody looks at that. They get off scot-free. As the white man says, scot-free. Read on.
Says Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
These are unrighteous decrees, man. It's unrighteous to demonize the victim who's not even alive to speak for themselves, man. How are you going to speak about somebody that's not even alive to speak for themselves? And say, yeah, he was a gangbanging criminal thug. He deserved to die. Because when an innocent black or Hispanic person get killed by the cops, and the news goes all into their Facebook and all that, their social media, all that they're really saying is he deserved to die. He deserved to die. That's all. Every single post that they say, oh, there's a picture of him smoking weed. There's a picture of him next to a mirror with a gun. He was a savage. He was a bad person. But nobody scrutinizes the police officer that murdered the young black or Hispanic in cold blood. Nobody scrutinizes that. But let it be a black officer. Let it be a black cop shooting a cracker. They'll go all in their Facebook too. They'll go all into their, oh, see, he's racist. He's a black militant. He's into Islam. Look what they did to Obama. They tried to say he was Muslim. They went and dug up who his pastor was, and his pastor, they saw a couple of speeches where he said "Goddamn America," and they using it against him. You see how racism works? It's a double standard. It's a double standard. By law, we're supposed to be equal, right? But do they practice law equally among all people? No. They don't practice law equally. There's no equity in the white man system. If there's equity in the white man system, then you explain to me how come there's so many so-called white drug dealers that get away with what they're doing, but the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man that's selling drugs, you got to watch your ass, man. And we're not justifying selling drugs. All of them is evil. But why don't the white men that sell drugs get in prison just like we do? Why don't they get in prison just like we do? Because there's just as many so-called white drug dealers. You got to figure most people that's on welfare is Caucasian. Most people that's on welfare is so-called white people. You see us on welfare because we loudmouths with it. We don't want, you know what I'm saying, the so-called white man, they know what they're doing. This is all by design. They know, but the so-called white man is majority people on welfare, man. We don't.
Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees.
And these are unrighteous decrees. That's all we say. We not up here crying about, like the white man likes to say, we crying about slavery. We up here telling you that that was wrong. And there's things that happen as a result. We're not over here looking for reparations. The reparation is going to be the white man's blood. That's going to be the reparations. We don't want your money. We want your damn blood. You ain't getting away with this shit, man. You forgot, and niggas like Sammy Sosa forgot, and Kanye West and all of them, they forgot, but we ain't forgetting, and the Lord ain't forgetting. We know.
And that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
And they prescribe grievousness, man. Their laws are stupid. They say possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10. So if you got drugs in your possession, you're getting locked up. Now, what if you actually have marijuana to put it in the brownies and eat it? Is that unrighteous? According to scriptures, there's nothing wrong with that.
Tell them, brother.
You could eat it. You could eat marijuana.
Preach.
What if you have a coca plant or coca plants growing in your backyard and you actually eat it, eat the leaves, just like the Incas did? Is that a controlled dangerous substance? No. Now, if you grind it up, turn it into cocaine, then yeah, that's something wrong with that. But if you use the herbs, the natural herbs in their natural form, and you do it properly, in America, you're still considered a criminal.
That's right.
You're still considered a criminal, man. Read on.
To turn aside the needy from judgment.
To turn aside the needy from judgment, man. You know, you got to be very careful when you govern poor people. Because a lot of times when you look at the majority of people that commit crimes, it's poor people. Whether they're white, black, Spanish, Native Americans, it's people that are poor. They're going to make ends meet. They're going to survive. They're going to feed their kids. Whether you give them a job or not, they're going to make ends meet. That's the fact of the matter. If they got to hear that baby crying out of hunger, they're going to go out there and do something bad for money. So that's something you have to take into account with the needy, with poor people, man. Because some people actually go out there and steal because there's nobody's giving them a job. They're trying, but listen, they can't make ends meet. I'm not justifying it, but you have to take things like that into consideration. Then you got thieves in America, the corporate-ass white people, or even Jakes among there in other nations that steal from people all the time. I'm gonna tell you right now, your average salesman that goes door to door and tries to sell you cable service or cell phones and shit, they do something called top to bottom selling. Means that they'll give you a package price. They'll be like, this shit is $200 a month. And then when you get down to what's $200 a month, it's like, oh, you can cut that out, you can cut that out, but they just threw it all in there just to try to make you sign up for a whole bunch of stuff. Trust me, that's how salesmen operate. That's how salesmen operate. Let me see how much stuff I can get this person to sign up for. That's why you go to most of these places. Hell, even McDonald's. If they run it, if they trying to make those people sell, oh, you get a bonus if you sell 20 McFlurries. They're gonna try to sell you every single person a damn McFlurry. That's how they sell. That's how America is, man. That's how America is. America's not even a country or a kingdom. It's a corporation. That's why you have a president. You don't have a king. You don't have a prime minister. You know what a prime minister is? Head servant. The top servant. The leader of a country is a servant to the people. In America, the leaders, which is the presidents, they're servants to the corporations that vote, that help them get voted in office. That's who they are. They're the top servants to the corporations. All right, that's all they are. Read on, brother. See, in Israel, among us, we're servants. The greatest among you is like the lowest. You know, that's why, listen, man, no matter how great, no matter how small, listen, we all have to play our role in this thing, man. Read on.
Isaiah 10:2, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people.
And to take away the right from the poor of my people. Because it's not everybody that, listen, there's poor among all people. But particularly the poor people that are getting it the worst are the children of Israel, man. And I know people are going to point to, you know, say, oh, well, the people in India got it worse. The people of this country and, you know, different countries with poverty. You have to understand something. A lot of those are Israelites too, man. All the poverty that's going on in Africa, a lot of those are Israelites, man. And you also got a lot of them that fall under the curse of Canaan. A servant of servant shall he be. But a lot of the people, first off, it's a royal bloodline that's going through slavery. How are you kings and priests going through slavery? We're not supposed. That's not a natural condition. The other nations, fuck them. They're supposed to be servants and slaves and poor and doing bad. The children of Israel, you black Hispanics and Native Americans are not supposed to be doing bad. You black Hispanics and Native Americans, you're a royal bloodline, man. You're royal. You're the best people on the planet Earth. You're not supposed to be in slavery. It's compared to people that aren't supposed to be in slavery. You're not supposed to be in slavery. The white man's supposed to be your slave. The Arab man is supposed to be your slave. The Chinese man is supposed to be your slave.
Right.
That's right.
But you don't know this because you allowed them to take your blessings, man. You allowed them to rape, rob, and murder you. And no, it wasn't a damn choice like Kanye said, man. It's easier said than done. This nigga said, basically saying, oh, the fact that you was in slavery for 400 years is a damn choice because you could have revolted. Nigga, there was revolts. You never heard of Denmark Vesey? Never heard of Nat Turner? Toussaint Louverture? Gabriel Prosser? There were slave rebellions. But these damn devils, the so-called white men in other nations, they got together to put us in slavery, man. But anyway, read on in the scripture.
That widows may be their prey.
That widows may be their prey, man. The so-called white man preys on poor and weak people. Widows is talking about women whose husbands died. So they're over here trying to make ends meet. Their husband's not there. Because of this Holocaust that the white man has on you black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And here you are oppressing each other. You got these damn pieces of shit in New York City, these damn Dominicans, that stabbed up a so-called a young brother, man. 15-year-old brother. Pieces of shit. And they're not even going to get righteous judgment.
That's right.
You know why? They're not supposed to spend their lives in prison. They're supposed to have no lives. Do me a favor, hold that. Somebody get me Genesis 9 and 6. It might be 6 and 9, but let's try 9 and 6 first. I'm old, so I forget. Those pieces of shit that murdered that young so-called Hispanic man, they're supposed to die, man.
I got it.
Huh.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 6.
Bring it out.
Whoso sheddeth man's blood,
Beautiful.
by man shall his blood be shed.
Whoso sheddeth a man's blood, read that again.
God. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed.
So wait a minute. If a man murder another man, they're supposed to die. They're supposed to get killed. So these guys that stabbed up that 15-year-old boy, they're supposed to be killed. So it's not even righteous that they're going to court, their faces on the news. No, you're supposed to kill them. Because those guys are a bunch of damn cowards.
That's
even
right.
Even the leader of the gang that they part of. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, brother.
Even the leader of their gang didn't show them what they did, man. They said, this is not the type of organization we are, man. But you know what it is? You got niggas like that in all gangs, man. All gangs. You got scumbags like that have no order. Because that's what happens when you take order out of the black, Hispanic, and Native American community. You take order out of our community, then you got pieces of crap like that stab up a little 15-year-old boy, man. That could have been your brother, man. And I'm not gonna call him Simeon. I'm gonna call them damn Dominicans. You don't get the damn respect to be called the Simeonites, man.
Right.
You not like Gabar or Zion, my Simeonite brothers, man. You not Simeon. You a fucking Dominican. Every single one of them scumbags. One of them scumbags had his hair dyed at court. Another one had braids. Oh, now you Dominicans want to be want to lay claim to your black heritage. Now you want to have braids. Damn scumbag. Nobody hates their own people more than the so-called Dominicans, man. I have yet to see a tribe that hates their own people more than them. And like I said, I'm not talking about Simeonite brothers in the truth or so-called Dominicans that's repenting. I'm talking about these scumbag Dominicans out here that hate Haitians. Always talking nonsense about Haitians. You Dominicans are no better than Haitians, man. You shouldn't be talking. Without the Haitian Revolution, there's no Latin American Revolution. You ain't know that? All these independent Hispanic countries would not have their independence if it wasn't for Haiti. For you scumbags to be looking at them bad, man. And I'm a so-called Hispanic. I'm gonna tell you from jump. I'll be the first one to tell you there is no Cuban Revolution without the Haitian Revolution. And the Lord is gonna raise up Simeon, man. Excuse me, not Simeon. Simeon too, but the Lord is gonna raise up Levi. The Lord is gonna raise up his elect out of the Haitian nations. And he's going to use them to chop up a lot of you damn Dominicans, man.
That's right.
A lot of you Dominicans that want to hate your own people, because you hate Morenos too. And you hate Sammy Sosa hates himself. The Lord had it yesterday where I got some type of, I went to Finish Line one time, bought some sneakers, and they was like, you want to sign up for a free trial of Sports Illustrated. I think yesterday was the last one I got. It was Sammy Sosa white ass face on the cover. And then you open the damn book and you see the Sammy Sosa that I remember from when I was younger. A beautiful brown brother, man. Hitting home runs. Now the motherfucker look like the Joker. Literally look like the Joker. But that's a so-called Dominican, man. No, I've never seen a tribe. I'm not teaching this for doctrine. I'm just saying from observation. Because I went to high school with a bunch of Dominicans too, man. They hate their own people. They hate Haitians, live on the same island. And that's why the Lord said that they're going to be together but separate. They're brethren, but they're separate. Right? But read on in Isaiah 11, yeah. I don't want to rant.
It's Isaiah chapter 11, starting back at verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
And with righteousness, we going to judge the poor, man. In the kingdom of heaven, you're going to get fair judgment. A lot of these people that are being put to death, a lot of these people that are getting in prison, part of their misery is a lot of them know that there's a bullshit-ass system that's putting them in prison. Look at Khalif Browder. He didn't even do it. There's no evidence to support that he actually stole that book bag from that Issacharite. Excuse me, not an Issacharite. That's a Mexican. That's my new thing. I'm going to start referring to you tribes that are overtly evil by your slave name. You're fucking Mexican. You're not an Issacharite. You got Issacharite brothers out there. But the scumbag that got Khalif Browder killed just because he was a so-called black, he put any black man to do, right? That's how it is in society. That's how it is in the society. Somebody can get robbed a block away from here, and they'll be like, hey, they were wearing this, that, and the third. They'll pick out any black, Hispanic, or Native American that's wearing the same clothes or anything similar, and they'll put them in a lineup and let the person pick who you want to go to jail for this crime. Which one of these guys do you not like? Oh, it was none of them? Then just pick one. That's how this society is, man. This society is unfair to you. And you love it so much. You're about to celebrate the 4th of July. When the Lord's going to send the real fireworks, man.
That's right.
There's going to be some real fireworks. This is going to be better than the 4th of July.
That's right.
This is going to be the real Independence Day, man. We're going to not be no longer dependent to the so-called white man. But you black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you got to be prepared to rule too, man. A lot of you black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are not prepared to rule. One thing that you're supposed to be doing, one thing that you have to do, is you have to take care of the poor of your people, man. You have to care about the little guys, man.
Right.
The people that don't have it. The people that can't defend for themselves. Do you defend people? Do you defend the poor? Look at how our community is. That damn store, that store that little kid, he's not that little, he's 15, but
15.
The store that Junior got stabbed up inside, that store should have been surrounded on the outside by people from the community ready to kill them damn bastards.
That's right.
We're not going to tolerate this in our community. Because in the kingdom of heaven in Israel, you try to murder one of ours, wherever the hell you try to run to kill them is going to be surrounded by Israelites with spears and arrows and swords ready to kill your ass.
Right.
That's how our kingdom going to be, man.
Done.
Our kingdom going to have men ready to chop and kill your ass if you try to harm one of us, man. That's a fact. And that's not going to be considered murder. That's going to be considered killing. There's a difference between murder and killing. Murder is you murder somebody for nothing or for money or for something vain. Kill is you're doing the Lord's judgment or you're killing out of self-defense. Murder's what's wrong. You're not supposed to murder. All right, but read on.
Isaiah chapter 11 verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
Read on.
And reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
For the meek of the earth. Because you know the white man don't care about the meek of the earth.
Right.
The white man will still rob the meek of the earth, man.
Right.
They literally will rob the meek of the earth, the poor people. The people on the damn street corner, the people trying to make ends meet. Just yesterday I saw a video about the history of the practice of tipping people. You know when you got a waiter or a waitress and you know you're supposed to tip them, and if you don't tip them, you know it's kind of fucked up. And it actually said that the origins of tipping was racist. Because the so-called white man, because the majority of jobs that so-called black and Latino so-called laborers could do was food service. Little skill jobs without skill that didn't require a lot of skill. And then what happens is tipping, giving a tip to your waiter is actually, in that case, considered an insult. Because it's like, hey, you're below me, so here, just take this. People that own restaurants used to give them nothing, literally nothing. All that they got was tips. All the money that they saw was tips. And it was from Caucasian snobs that would go in there and just hey, here, just keep the change. You ever heard the phrase "keep the change"? That's a tip. The history of even giving a waiter a tip is racist, man. And just because of that, hey, listen, that should move you to take care of these people making $2.13 an hour. You should tip. They take care of you, you know. But it just goes to show the racist history. Hell, even Chinese stores. The reason why we got so many damn Chinese stores is because the white man's a racist bastard and didn't want all these Chinese immigrants to work and have jobs. So what did they do? They pulled together their resources and built up Chinese stores all over the country. They had some legal loophole, and they would use so-called white people to do something or sign off on something. You know, but that goes to show you this country has a very, very racist history. They're evil as hell, man. These people are still making $2.13 an hour. You worked in food service business before, right?
Over 12 years.
Yeah. How much do they make an hour?
You make very little, man. You make a lot. Wait till this comes.
Yeah.
You make either minimum wage or below minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? You basically surviving off of tips. You know what I'm saying? And the fucked up part is, like in fancier restaurants, you definitely making way below minimum wage. And then if you got bussers and shit, then like you gotta share your tips with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you at the mercy of, like the brother said, of tips. You know what I'm saying? And you know, our people are the worst tippers at that.
Yeah, that's another thing. I talked to a waiter one time at Applebee's, and you know, just speaking to him. Hey, what was the worst tippers? White, black? He said black people. He said black people will order $100 worth of shit, be the biggest attitudes, have an issue with everything, every single plate that comes out, and still give you $5 tip. They said literally they actually said that's what they expect from any black person in a restaurant. They said the tip is gonna be $5, if that. And this is a black so-called waiter. Because I don't know about y'all, but when I go out and I get a waiter and I tip them, I give them a little extra just because they're Jake. Just because, hey, you know what? You a brother struggling like me. Here's a couple extra bucks. On top of the regular tip that you would give. You know? But this country preys on poor people, man. All these young kids going to school and you see them, they're about to be pro athletes, Saquon Barkley and all of them. They come from nothing, man. These people come from nothing, poverty. And what they're going to do, they're going to play 8 years for the Giants, and then they're going to be washed up. All the money's going to be gone, man. Because nobody's going to teach these young kids how to spend their money wisely. They're not going to invest in shit. They're going to blow their damn money and think that it's going to be more to come. So that injury comes. Go ahead, brother.
This is Psalms 41:1.
Come on.
Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble.
Do you consider the poor? Do you see a little boy on the side of the road selling waters and say, hey, you know what? I got a banging ass AC in here. I'm really not hot, but let me just buy water off this little young man. You know, because he's poor and you know he's struggling and he's over here doing something other than selling drugs. You know, trying to probably make ends meet for his family. Or are you one of those bitter ass Israelite brothers that's gonna say, man, fuck him. That you know, he probably stole that water. Are you gonna be one of those bitter motherfuckers? Or are you gonna actually say, hey, you know what? You identify with the poor. Even if you're rich, man. Even if you're rich. Even if you got hella money in the bank, you still gotta remember the Lord's elect could be poor. There are among you see all these homeless people in Elizabeth and Newark. A lot of them could be the Lord's elect. And when they ask you for money to get something to eat, and you tell them go fuck theyself, that could be one of the Lord's elect that you just told to go fuck theyself, man. Think about that. So when the Lord says, "Hey, I was in hunger and you told me to go fuck myself," and you asked the Lord, "What do you mean? I never saw you," because that's ass kissing. Because if you knew that was Yahushua or somebody representing Yahushua, then you would look out for them. Because you know you're going to get that blessing. But if you do that randomly, if you say, "Hey, look at this homeless brother, I got extra money in my pocket, let me go take him to get something to eat," you don't know whether he's the Lord's elect. For all you know, he could be a chocolate-covered Edomite. Right? You don't know that. But, peace, brother, he could be the Lord's elect. So what do? You do what you're supposed to do. Take care of the poor, man. Who else is taking care of the poor? The white man's not taking care of the poor. The devil's not taking care of the poor. You should. All right, read on. Oh, you had a...
What happened?
You was reading something, right?
I mean, that was it on that. I mean, I could keep reading.
No, you know what? I want to finish off Isaiah 11.
Isaiah 11, back in verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor,
Read.
And reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
Read.
And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
Right. We're supposed to be righteous and we're supposed to be faithful, man. We're supposed to have faith in this thing. That's why we do what we do, because we have faith. Why else do we dress up in what they call Power Ranger outfits and come out here and look funny to the people and preach a gospel that's against this society? Why do we do that? We do that because we trust in the Lord. We trust that by coming out here and looking funny to you and looking foolish to you, we're going to be adorned in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to be dressed to the nines with the finest apparel. We're going to have a kingdom, man. You black Hispanics and Native Americans, you're going to have a kingdom.
That's right.
Get ready for it, man. You think this white man going to rule forever? Every society that's ever stood up has fallen.
Right.
But the God of the Bible, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, promises you that you're going to have a kingdom that's never going to fall again.
That's right.
Don't you know that black people and Hispanic people have ruled kingdoms before? We have been rulers. We have been kings. We've had kingdoms.
To you.
Hell, a lot of these goddamn crackers are named after you. You don't know that? If your last name is Jacobs, if you're a so-called white man with the last name Jacobs, you're named after black people. If your last name is James, you're named after black people. If your last name is Leon, you're named after black people. Scott, that's a black name. Anything British is so-called black. Hell, the country of France was named after black people. England, Scotland, Ireland. Actually, look up the Gaelic language. If you look up the Gaelic language, Dublin means dark land. Douglas comes from two words, dub and glass, which means dark man. If your last name is Douglas, you're literally named after black people. But the so-called white man, he stole so much. He doesn't have a heritage, man. You know what the white man's heritage is? Pillage and murder and killing.
Right.
But once they set up, see, the difference between the so-called white man in America and Genghis Khan is that Genghis Khan didn't have a contingency plan. That's why the Mongols pretty much faded out after he died. Yeah, we can conquer and we can rule, but the thing that the white man in America did was, hey, you know what? After we take over and kill everybody, this is how we're going to expand. Because this time it was an organized thing called the Illuminati. And And a lot of people say, hey, the Illuminati don't exist no more. And it's very true. It's possibly true that the Illuminati, under the name Illuminati, don't exist no more. But that don't mean the damn Rockefellers and Rothschilds and all of them still ain't doing the same thing together to keep other people down. Mm-hmm. We're not saying just black and Hispanics. They keep people down all over the world. Primarily you black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. These other nations don't love you, man. Read on.
Isaiah 11, verse 6. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
In the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be at peace, man. Aren't you ready for that? Aren't you tired every 5 minutes you're hearing about some fucking summit, denuclearization and all that shit? Aren't you tired of there constantly being a threat of war? Mm-hmm. Your president starting beefs on Twitter? What's the difference between your president and one of these rappers that threatens people on Twitter? What is the difference? Only difference is he's like a 70-something-year-old drama queen, and your young rappers are a bunch of 20-year-old drama queens. Mm. It's an older so-called white drama queen and younger so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American drama queens. Still a bunch of damn drama queens, man. Read on.
And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat the straw like the ox.
In the kingdom, we gonna have peace. Even with the nations, we gonna be at peace. Ain't gonna be no war. Listen, we done made y'all motherfuckers pay for all the shit y'all did. Now, we can get to the part where, you know, we all living comfortably. As long as you damn demons know who to pay tribute to. They're still gonna be under us. You gotta think about it. You had hardcore slavery, and then you had after slavery during the Reconstruction era, black people still did the same shit they did during slavery. They were still sharecropping, you know, picking cotton and all that. It's just that now they were getting paid a little wage for it. A little something. Because you gotta think about it. These people only knew how to do these menial tasks. So now so-called slavery is over, but these people are now like, hey, what am I gonna do for work now? Oh, I'm gonna do what I know, right? No, I ain't solution. Read on.
And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp.
Read.
And the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in my holy mountain.
Even the animals won't be beefing with each other in those days, man.
My boy Zion now.
Zion? Yeah. I think he's at work right now. Read on.
For the earth shall be full of knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. And it shall and through it shall the Gentiles seek.
The Gentiles.
The Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Right, so this is talking about King David. King David's gonna be the ruler over the whole world. That's right, man. You believe whatever you want. You don't.
I can prove.
We got proof. We got proof it's true. Okay, that's cool. Read on.
And it shall come to pass.
Because y'all do bring people into the truth. You feel me? And y'all out here doing the work.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
yeah, we talked about this before. We know what you believe. Thanks, brother.
We got a
Earth flat.
thing.
Yeah, remember he said that I'm not Israelite.
Water.
You know.
Water.
Well, that's what you said last time. Now your story changed.
He was drinking that day. He's sober now.
He's still saying the 12 tribe sign is false, so.
False.
That's
false.
You know.
Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
And the Lord is going to recover.
And that's why a lot of my people that believe in
Hey, brother, we trying to teach you.
believe in the Eastern
That's delivery.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
So the Lord is going to set his hand to recover the remnant of his people. What does that mean? The remaining, the remnant. of his people. Because there's Israelites in other countries too, man. It's not just black Hispanics and Native Americans.
So this is false.
Right. And yes, yes, she do.
No, they're not the shit. Read on.
Which shall be left from Assyria and
From Assyria. There's Israelites in Assyria, man. Read on.
and from Egypt.
From Egypt. There's Israelites in Egypt. Read on.
And from Pathros.
Pathros. Read on.
And from Cush.
From Cush.
And from Elam.
So that's Israelites all over the world. The bulk of them are here, because that's what Deuteronomy 28:68 says. And then you also got the second Esdras that talks about the 10 tribes, the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. Read on.
And from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the isles of the sea. And he shall set up
Shinar is in China. Read on. Oh no, Siddim is in China.
and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble.
I corrected myself. Read on.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
And he's going to assemble the outcasts of Israel. Because you know you got people out here that are going to be outcasted from literally other Israelite groups. Hey, listen, you got a lot of Israelites that don't believe us Hispanics are Israelites. Yeah. A lot
I
of
believe
people
some of y'all are. I believe some of y'all are.
At least you believe that.
Some of y'all are.
Last time you was dead set against it. So.
At the end of the day, how could Brazil, you feel me? How could Brazil, the biggest population of people that was taken into slavery, I mean, not be Judah, but y'all agree that Judah was taken into slavery?
Right.
You heard?
Oh, so you're saying?
I mean, look,
So you saying because
you taking 4 different races, man? Y'all make 4 different races into one. It can't be like that. And the seed, I mean, we don't know yet, man. We gonna catch the spirit, and we gonna, I mean, but
so you think that
like,
the only
like
people
I
that was
said,
in
just because you like and all that doesn't make you.
Look, bro, we out here
from the
teaching.
seed of Jacob.
Read on it.
And gather together the dispersed from Judah, from the 4 corners of the earth.
I'm not clinging to anybody. We Israel, bro. Whether you accept it or reject it, that's cool.
Calm your Sharala.
And you know what? There's a lot of historical records. But there's historical records proving that the Native Americans here spoke Hebrew. They wrote in Hebrew. Hey, well, looking for yourself. America BC by Dr. Barry Fell. The Lost 10 Tribes of Israel found by Stephen M. Collins. We got a lot of
because y'all use second Ezra. That
Indians and Jews by Lynn Glasser.
Prove that. But when you look at their
I just went into history books, brother.
When you look at their culture, they was doing a lot of Hamitic shit. I know Hamites because Canaanites came over here. The Phoenicians came over here in ships, and there's records on that too.
Well, the Phoenicians was actually Israelites. See, if you know history, brother, if you know history, you know that the tribes of Asher and Zebulun took over the Phoenicians. Tyre and Sidon, those lands was taken over by Israelites. And they spoke Hebrew. There's evidence of that. Also, the Phoenician alphabet is Hebrew, ancient Hebrew.
Saying all them Canaanites.
No, they're not Canaanites, they Israelites.
All languages.
But anyway, read on.
It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart.
And the so-called Hispanics, who are led by the tribe of Ephraim, their envy or their dislike with the so-called black man is going to stop, man. We're going to stop hating each other. We already started not hating each other.
Ephraim is a cake unturned.
Bro, can I teach? Because you over here trying to debunk stuff. We trying to teach.
But I can do that wrong.
Listen, read on.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off.
And the enemies of the so-called black are going to play it, bro. So-called
they shall lay their hand upon Edom and bathe them.
And don't you know that the other nations are going to fall in line?
Americans, blacks,
the other nations, they're going to be in subjection, man. Because there is no nation more powerful than the 12 tribes of Israel.
Ain't no Americans.
Can you you stop being obnoxious? We trying to teach you over here playing games, bro. I'm pointing to him and saying, read on there.
But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines
Read on.
toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab.
And what was other nations? We'll take over, man. We gonna take over all the...
Not Native Americans.
Hey, bro.
Negro.
You know what? If you don't believe it, then that's fine. You don't have to stand there.
Negro.
Get to 13:1.
This is Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which
You supposed to come out here and scold the people, man. Tell them about yourself.
shake the head, that they may go into the gates of the noble.
And we supposed to make the people so mad. They go to the police. They go to City Hall. They done did it before. Fight us. And then,
Mighty ones for mine anger.
right?
Even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people.
And who's the great people? The great people are you black Hispanics and Native Americans.
That's right.
You're the children of Israel. Don't you know? It doesn't matter how much the society. Watch the brother story, man. It's gonna bring tears to your eyes, literally. He was watching that thing with tears at the 22. That's how the society does, and they didn't care about it. They were questioning him about the whole situation when he tried to sue the city of New York. And they were in there really kind of accusing him. They were very skeptical and saying, nah. they were trying everything possible to not be yet. I'm gonna send my angels over here.
That's right.
It's the job. People that